It is 1248, and the Mongol Empire is close to tearing itself apart. Guyuk Khan sits on the throne in Mongolia, drunk, suspicious, and convinced Batu wants him dead. Batu rules the Golden Horde in Europe, and he has refused to bow at Guyuk's coronation. In Mongol politics, skipping a coronation was not a small insult. Guyuk gathers an army and begins marching west to face his cousin. When Mongol rulers settled family feuds, they did not send letters. What happens next begins to break the greatest empire on earth into pieces. The problem began with Genghis Khan's own design. He ruled more connected land than anyone before or since. His power stretched from the Sea of Japan toward Eastern Europe. His legacy was so vast that 1 in every 200 men alive today may still carry his DNA. Then, in 1227, Genghis Khan died. Before his death, he divided territory among his 4 sons. He named his 3rd son, Ogedei, as Great Khan above them all. It sounded balanced, but it planted 4 power bases beneath one throne. There was no clear rule that the oldest son must inherit. A council called a Kurultai was supposed to choose the next Khagan. In practice, the crown often belonged to the strongest army and the sharpest knives. Genghis handed out the empire like houses to 4 brothers. But he left the will unsigned. Every succession after him became a dangerous contest. Ogedei held the empire together from 1229 to 1241. His armies pressed deeper into Eastern Europe, reaching places like Hungary and Poland. But when Ogedei died in 1241, the first great crack opened. After Ogedei died, the empire became a massive power vacuum. Into that vacuum stepped his widow, Toregene. She was not a placeholder waiting quietly for a ruler. She planned to control the whole machine for 5 years. Toregene purged opponents and placed loyalists in key positions. She delayed the Kurultai that was meant to choose the next great Khan. She traded favors, threatened enemies, and dared anyone to stop her. In a culture that did not easily hand power to widows, she held it by force of will. In 1246, her son Guyuk became Great Khan. Toregene had won the throne for him, but not the ability to hold it. Guyuk was already paranoid, drinking too much, and sure rivals wanted him dead. He ruled with fear, seeing threats behind every smile. Within months, he began purging people he believed served his father's old friends. The empire did not need a frightened man commanding an army. The greatest threat was Batu Khan, far to the west. Batu was another grandson of Genghis and ruler of the Golden Horde. He controlled more territory than most modern countries could imagine. He did not respect Guyuk as the rightful ruler. When Guyuk called nobles to his coronation, Batu sent excuses. Both courts understood that this was a public declaration of war. By 1248, Guyuk gathered a massive army and marched west. He intended to crush Batu and execute him personally. 2 grandsons of Genghis were ready to turn Mongol terror inward. But Guyuk died suddenly in April 1248 before reaching the battlefield. No one knows exactly why Guyuk died. It may have been poison, illness, or the ruin of his own drinking. His army turned around and marched home in confusion. Batu understood that the empire had become a family death match. Guyuk's widow, Ogul tried to rule as regent. She failed, and the Ogedei branch had lost credibility. Then Monke, son of Toluid, rose with Batu's full support. In 1251, the nobles elected Monke as Great Khan. It was a coup disguised as an election. Historians call it the Toluid Revolution. power moved from Ogedei's family line to Toluid's line. Monke did not stop at taking the throne. He purged Guyuk's relatives, stripped titles, seized lands, and ordered executions. Entire branches of the family tree were wiped out or exiled. The empire looked unified again, but fear held it together. Hulagu went west to crush the Abbasid Caliphate and build the Ilkhanate in Persia. Kublai went east to finish the conquest of China. Monke reformed currency and taxes to keep the empire from breaking. But he never named a clear successor. In 1259, Monke died during the siege of Diaoyu Castle in China. Kublai and Aurek Bok both claimed the throne. Their civil war lasted from 1260 to 1264, and Kublai won. By Kublai's death in 1294, 4 realms stood apart: Golden Horde, Chagatai, Ilkhanate, and Yuan. The Mongols could defeat any army, but not their own succession crisis.